The Saints gave us hope last week against the Raiders. Yesterday night on Monday Night Football, they backed over it with a car and set it on fire. It was more sad football, even more injuries, but still only one game out of first. Hope for the 2022 New Orleans Saints is like Michael Myers on Halloween. It will not die. Thomas, hit that intro.
Yo, what up? It's Deontay Harris with the New Orleans Saints. Y'all Saints Happy Hour podcast? Yeah. No bueno, not good. Y'all Saints takes. It's just awful. And I think it's because the drinks that y'all be drinking be having y'all a little woozy and y'all be forgetting like what team y'all talking about or something. I don't know what it is, but we gotta figure something out because it's bad. Let's regroup, reassess, and just be better, you know? All love.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch and remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button on YouTube. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour. You can get 2 months for free. We have a limited edition Boys Are Back Cup as a gift for any new annual patrons at any level. We are now doing an MVP contest for people who watch and donate or subscribe during the live stream. So what does that mean exactly? Anyone who donates any amount during the show each week gets entered into a drawing at the end of the season for Saints Happy Hour t-shirt and a Smoke Monday t-shirt. The person who donates the most each week gets entered into our drawing to win 2 Saints game tickets for 2023. And the person who donates the most each week gets to have a 30-second video of themselves giving their Saints hot take played the following week. What is everybody drinking? Champagne or beers for me. I'm drinking. What are we drinking?
Second Line Brewing, Vacation Juice, Hazy IPA.
Oh.
Here it is.
I'm not drinking tonight, and I'm ejecting early.
Yeah, because you're an old man and you got to get up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah. All 5.
I'm not drinking anything at the moment, but I
wake up.
Not drinking anything at the moment, but I will get some bullet in just a minute.
See,
you're gonna shoot your dick off.
Yeah.
Speaking of shooting your dick off, it was bad, awful, terrible yesterday, Dave. And I'm not just talking about the election results that you didn't like if you're listening to this on Wednesday. I'm talking about the Saints in the Superdome. Dave, they got physically destroyed by the Ravens in a way we haven't seen in 2022 before.
Ralph can't say any year right.
I can't say the year right. But Dennis Allen, he knows whose fault it was that the Ravens ran over his defense all night. And whose fault was it, according to Dennis Allen? It was the offense. Thomas, play that soundbite.
There's a lot of challenges that go along with it. And I was just sitting in there visiting with Mickey, and I know the first question we're going to get is about, the run game and things of that nature. I think they had about 40 minutes time of possession. And so if you allow that type of run game to stay on the field for 40 minutes in a game, you're going to give up some rushing yards. I thought in the first half, we did a pretty good job of kind of minimizing that, limiting that. I thought as the game wore on, I thought that's where you saw some of their better runs and more explosive runs.
Dave, he just threw Pete Carmichael under the bus.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? What did that have to do with the Saints offense at all?
Because if the Saints offense could have kept the ball, maybe his defense wouldn't have been on the field for 40 minutes.
Well, I didn't take it that way at all.
Yeah, okay. You are really really reaching on this one. I mean, you are really extrapolating from this. He makes no mention of the Saints offense. He talks specifically about his defense, how terrible his defense was, particularly later in the game. He basically said they were doing a better job of containing Baltimore on the ground early on, and then they seemed to just totally crap the bed later in the game.
I took it as Mr. Subliminal, Kevin, where he said if Pete Carmichael would have got some goddamn first downs, my defense wouldn't have been tired at the end of the game. We could have done better.
I don't know.
I mean,
Jesus.
I'm not Like
My
that is an
God.
accurate. Okay, that assessment that you just made in and of its in a vacuum is correct. Like the Saints offense, the Saints offense didn't keep the ball nearly enough. They only had the ball like 22 and a half minutes or whatever. But I did not get from that audio of Dennis Allen that point that you're making there.
I think we're all on the same page here, except for Ralph.
You're all wrong.
I want to jump right to the one thing this game gave us that was beautiful. It gave us jokes about. It gave us that was cool. But it gave us jokes about Ralph's grip strength. Because on the play where Andy Dalton is literally hanging onto the football by 3 fingers, he gets hit and he somehow holds on to it just long enough to where he hits the ground and then the ball pops out. And it wasn't a fumble; it was ruled down by contact because his grip strength was so terrific. And
Greatest grip strength moment ever.
If you were in the Discord when this happened, all of our patrons are cracking jokes about Ralph. There it is. There's the play right there. Did you just see it right there? Did you see how he was cradling the ball with 3 fingers? We're all in the Discord mocking Ralph, basically saying this is the kind of grip strength that Ralph could only aspire to have.
It is. It's true.
So,
Not even aspire.
I want to thank Andy Dalton for that gift.
It's the grip strength that dreams are made of, man.
Yeah, he'll never even get close to that. I think I was the only one on this podcast that went to the game last night, right? You guys,
That's
Andrew, Ralph didn't fly in.
Yeah, I'm not coming down.
Ralph, I'm assuming you told your mom to save you one of the Dome Patrol posters.
I was going to say, I would assume, based on the way the Saints played, I'm guessing Ralph was there.
This was in the running for sure of worst Saints game I've ever been to in my life. And you guys know you guys know I've been to almost every Saints game there's since Aaron Brooks has been here.
Ooh, hang on. All right, you keep talking. I'm going to look something up.
If it wasn't,
did you go to a game at LSU in 2005?
Yeah.
Okay, that was not worse.
I gotta tell you, this was brutal. This was brutal. This game, again, going back to the Dome Patrol poster, save for the Dome Patrol poster and a little interaction I had with the Great Dane Morton Anderson at halftime, which I'll tell you about in a second. Okay. Those were the only 2 redeeming qualities of this game. I mean, this was beyond. I'm sure it was frustrating to watch on TV. But
what about the Ian Book start? That was worse than this.
No, it wasn't. That was fun. That was at least we got jokes out of that.
Why is that quality so terrible? It does not sound like that on my phone.
This was. And I'll tell you why this is bad. And my buddy David that I brought with the game, he saw this too. But like, you don't see this on TV because I'm behind the bench. I'm seeing what's happening with players that are not on the field. These guys gave up. These guys gave up. And I mean, obviously, they lost a lot of guys. This was like World War I. This was like a war of attrition. I mean, guys were going down left and right, like in key people. I'm genuinely concerned for the team moving forward. Like as if it wasn't bad enough. Now, after this game, after I'm going to call this game World War I. After this game, it's even worse.
That's fucking
the Battle
illegal.
of Verdun. What is this?
That's right. The Battle of We're Done.
Well done.
Thank you. Like it's just I honestly don't see this team winning more than 1 or 2 games the rest of the season. I really don't.
Kevin's gonna pull up a score.
I think Dennis Allen has lost. I don't even know whether he ever had control of the team, but assuming he did, I think he's lost control of the team. I don't think any of these guys give a crap anymore. I think you're going to see a lot of business decisions on the field moving forward. And this was just, there was 0 offense. The defense kept them in the game for a little bit there, like Dennis Allen was saying, but after a while, they got beat up, they got injured, and they got tired. This was you could even kind of maybe look at this. I think we don't know yet. Hindsight will be 2020, but again, this could be the turning point of the season. They might not win another game after this. This was not a good game.
That's what we call the full Dave around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got one.
What is that?
I've got one, and
Hit
it
us,
is not
Kevin.
from the
COVID
2005 season. Wait, hang on. Actually, wait. We have breaking news. Andrew, what does your test say?
My test says I'm COVID negative.
Yeah.
COVID negative.
Right before we went live, Andrew sticking a thing up his nose and putting it in a vial and taking it.
So Kevin,
my work still makes me test before we get together in person.
Give us a worse
symptoms.
experience for Dave than last night.
Okay, and here's the thing. This was one I actually attended, so that's why my mind immediately went to it, and I went searching for it. I started looking for absolute beatdowns, and then I remembered Dave said at home,
Aaron.
So that means I couldn't count the 52-3 during the 2005 season in Green Bay. Couldn't count that. I counted no road game, only home game. I go back to 2004. The Saints lost to the Denver Broncos.
I was at that game.
34-13.
I think I was at that game.
Is that the game that Mike Anderson went off on us?
Yeah, Denver, first two plays, I believe, were 70-yard touchdown runs. Like, Denver scored. The Saints got the ball, had a turnover. Denver scored again on the same play back-to-back times, and it was 14-0. I think that's how that game.
It was a Reuben Drones 51-yard rush, and then Ashley Lilly, him too, 37-yard touchdown reception.
Not quite, but close.
It was 20-0.
Did Mike Anderson play in that game?
I can check that, but the Broncos were up 20-0 before John Carney even got a field goal, and then after that, Al Wilson gets a 7-yard touchdown interception return.
Wow.
Like, this was an all-time shit Aaron Brooks performance in the Dome. I remember the fans were applauding when the team got first downs.
It was. But here's the thing, Dave. I agree with you in this sense. It was only 14-0. But it felt like it was 45.
Yeah,
because Baltimore was killing them.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that the Saints actually kept it so close. I mean, they were in it. I mean, they had a chance. They just it was like turning the key in the ignition, trying to get the engine. But watching this offense, the Saints offense, it was like trying to start a car that won't start. It's like you keep turning the key and you keep expecting something, a big play or something that just like nothing ever happened. Nothing. It was just, my God, it was so frustrating. And I want to go back to what I said was the highlight of probably my evening was obviously last night they were honoring the Dome Patrol. They had Ricky Jackson there. Pat Swilling was there. They had the wives of Sam Mills and Vaughn Johnson. Willie Roaf was there. Morton Anderson was there. And so at halftime, they go out and they do whatever ceremony. And so Morton, again, I sit in the second row. I'm right there. I can yell at the people that are walking by. And so Morton Anderson walks by and I say, Morton, and I yell and he waves and smiles and immediately keeps going. And I said, sing, take it to the top. And he turns around and he smiles and gives me a thumbs up and he laughs his ass off. And that was the highlight of my day because I knew he thought that was the funniest thing. He was like, I can't believe somebody's talking to me about take it to the top.
How much?
I probably made his day.
How much do you think we'd have to pay him to get him on the show to sing "Take It to the Top"?
Yeah.
Before we do the mailbag.
Probably not that much.
Andrew,
but that was the highlight of my day.
Andrew,
it wasn't even close.
Andrew, you watched the tape. I know that Baltimore blitzed a good bit and they got Andy Dalton 4 times, but besides the blitzing, I just felt like Baltimore, even when they weren't blitzing, they were kicking the Saints offensive line's ass and batting balls. And like, I never felt like the Saints offensive line on many plays pushed forward. They were always getting caved in. And not just from blitzes.
Facts. I don't really have much to add there. It was a tough watch. It was hard to watch. It was disappointing. And then McCoy went down on top of that. So moving forward, I don't know what that means. That's a really big concern, by the way, because the calf was what made him miss like 6 weeks last year, and this was officially ruled a calf injury. So
yeah,
not good.
Not good. I wasn't stunned that they lost, Andrew, but I was stunned that they couldn't move the ball because Baltimore, like, they give up points in the secondary. Like, Miami came back and scored 21 fourth quarter points. Like, the Giants scored points in them, and the Giants offense kind of sucks, even though they win games. Like, I was surprised the Saints couldn't do crap on offense. I really was.
I thought you were about to say diddly poo there.
Diddly, I should have.
Yeah.
Couldn't try it. We didn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball.
Jim Mora was there too, by the way, out on the field, and looking very old and thin and frail. How old is he? He's like late 80s, right?
Mid 80s.
I wonder if Jim Mora was happy that Adam Troutman returned from injury in this game.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fish guy.
But this game here, Kevin, besides the ass kicking the Saints got, the injuries, like, I can argue now that the Saints defense is going to be without 3 of their 4 best players this week in Pittsburgh, because Davenport, they're not going to have Pete Werner, they're not going to have Lattimore. That's 3 of their 4 best defensive players. I would put Demario Davis as the 4th, but I would
so Cam Jordan is not in the top 4.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, so 3 of the top. They'll be without 3 of the top 5, and they'll be missing a guy at every level.
Well, this list that you've got pulled up here on screen says that Jarvis Juice Landry will return when Tulane plays in a New Year's Day Bowl. So,
that's right.
I mean, he'll be back. So that means he'll be back by this January.
Tulane, this is
they don't
injury,
win 9
this is
games,
the injury report.
They should run roughshod through that conference.
They are. Never wrong, just early. But this injury list of expected returns, because the Saints, Andrew, as we know, with injuries, they say they're going to be back. It's not specific. The one that I'm most hopeful for,
I see you have one that'll be back by the 2024 election. So just to be safe, the Saints should probably not put him on IR. They should just let him take up a roster spot.
That's right.
They should just refuse to put him on IR. And then that way we don't gain the advantage of an extra player on the roster. We'll just shelve that guy and let him continue to take up a roster spot. That would be great.
For people not watching on the live stream, Kevin, we got Marcus Davenport, expected return, 2024 election. We got Pete Werner, his expected return when Haley's Comet returns in 2061. We got Eric McCoy. He's going to return when Russia pulls out of Ukraine. Jarvis Juice Landry, as Dave said, when Tulane plays in a New Year's Day Bowl. And Lattimore, he's going to return when the end of the world, sooner than you think. Kevin, of these 5 players, which one do you think will return the soonest? Which one of these things is more likely to happen? It's going to happen sooner.
It's a crapshoot.
Give me Warner.
The answer is Jarvis Landry.
Give me Warner.
Now that
I don't know, man.
He's probably died. R.I.P.
I already gave my answer. I said Warner.
Of all the injuries yesterday.
Yeah. Brookham Dano said, I thought Landry was coming back this week. Yeah, he was limited at practice all week. A sign that he would play. He was officially listed as questionable. He practiced all week. So I was surprised not to see him out there. Yeah. And, I would assume that he's making progress. I mean, he was at practice every day, granted on a limited basis. So at this point, I would think he's trending towards playing against the Steelers. I would be stunned if he didn't. But, the thing that's weird is, we talked about Michael Thomas, and obviously he went on IR long after he first got injured. It's been 4 weeks now that Lattimore has been out. Thank you, Tiger Saint. So, like, Lattimore is now a guy that could have gone on IR that they chose not to. And, we keep joking about this, but it's true. Like at some point, they've got to make a decision to add this roster spot to get someone else in there if these guys aren't going to play. And I just think from a roster management standpoint, not putting some of these guys on IR is kind of weird. It's kind of egregious.
Dave, you hate the Saints medical staff more than anybody on this podcast.
I didn't say that.
I said it. I said it. You're not denying it. What's more frustrating? The fact that the Saints medical staff has trouble diagnosing or helping players heal, or the fact that they have no concept of the 3-week IR rule? What's more frustrating?
I don't know what the heck's going on behind closed doors, but I mean, like this Michael Thomas thing, it's like starting to reek of like Delvin Bro. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and
it's starting to reek of. It's starting to reek of Michael Thomas the last time around.
Yeah, I know. And I don't.
Medicine's not a science.
Medicine is not a science, and so I don't know. I don't know who's to blame. I don't know if you can blame the medical staff.
Somebody's got to be to blame, Dave.
I know.
When the Saints lose, we must assess blame. That's what this podcast is for.
I mean, I guess there has to be some blame there because when the Delvin Bro thing happened, didn't they fire somebody? They
fired the doctor.
Yeah, a couple Ochsner docs.
I mean, somebody got canned, so obviously there was some kind of issue there that warranted them being fired, and so I just don't wonder if maybe we've reached that another point like that again, where maybe
Kevin is soft tissue guy. Is his Christmas bonus in danger?
His job is in danger. So don't worry about a Christmas bonus. He's going to get Jelly of the Month Club if he's lucky.
I knew that was going to come back to bite us. That whole 50% soft tissue thing that we ran.
It's probably our fault. I think we jinxed it. I mean, nobody else was talking about that but us. And we certainly jinxed it. Well, but you know what? I guess it's our fault because we're bad at math. Because if this guy reduces soft tissue injury by 50%, that's only half the job. We need another guy who can reduce the other 50% to get to the 100%.
Actually, I saw somebody on Twitter. Actually, you're talking about karma. Like somebody on Twitter kind of made a point. Like, I wonder if this whole entire season is karma for the Saints nearly signing
Deshaun Watson.
Captain Massage Envy.
Well, look at it, man.
I don't know what's Cleveland's record right now. Or do they have a better record than us? No, they're
3-5. 3-5.
Yeah,
so you got 3-5, 3-6. Atlanta's 4-5. So like, yeah.
By the way,
I just want to point out. I just want to point out in true Saints fashion. Not only do we play Cleveland when Deshaun will be back. After his suspension. But I learned today that TJ Watt...
Of course he is.
TJ Watt, who has been out with a dislocated whatever since week 1,
he'll be
is trending towards returning this coming Sunday against the Saints.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
He's going to be filled with horse tranquilizers.
God, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that.
It's a story as old as time. The Saints are the cure-all.
They are.
Yes.
Wait, when the hell is our bye? Is our bye the week after this?
No.
I think our bye is week 19.
Do we have a bye? Week 19? We're getting a bye week 9. Week 19.
The Saints made every wrong decision that could possibly be made, including when to have their bye. The NFL is like, you're going to London, have the bye after London like everybody does. And the Saints are like, no.
No, thanks. No.
We want the bye later because we're going to be in playoff contention. And we want to
make sure that our injuries are as crippling as possible until we get there.
That's right. So the defense, Andrew, like I mentioned before, with 3 of the top 5 guys, I'll give you that. 3 of the top 5 guys could be out. Like, I feel like it was hopeless and injured. They were missing a ton of tackles, and I kind of buy into Dave's thing at the beginning of the show. Like, they kind of just were I don't know that they necessarily quit Dave. They were defeated. They were defeated, and they were like,
I got it. Like I was cringing when Dalton got sacked. And look, first of all, I think
the missed tackles. Jesus.
I think the most blame has to go to the offensive line. I thought as a unit they played the worst as a whole than any other unit,
which is
for the Saints.
Which is such a bummer because they've been probably the best unit all year.
But I thought they had a terrible game, and I was almost cringing late in the game after Andy Dalton took that sack. He comes off. He's kind of hurt. He's not hurt, but he's not having it, and he finally makes his way over to the offensive guys and high fives them all, and it's just like he kind of just half-asses it, and I'm like, how could you be high-fiving these guys? These guys are leaving you out to dry. They are getting you killed out there. And I don't know, just body language. I'm telling you, I don't know.
Body the whole Sean Payton like ethos and culture, Kevin, is gone. But that's one thing I really do notice. Like the body language for the Saints on the sideline is completely different. And Dennis Allen, Kevin, he gives off the vibe of a defensive coordinator. He doesn't give off the vibe of a head coach.
He gives off the vibe of a honey-baked ham that's been left in the trunk of your car on a hot day. And
that actually might be delicious. Is it like still warm?
I would say I would eat a honey baked ham in the trunk. How many days would you leave? How many days would it have to be in the trunk for you to be like, no, I can't eat that?
3. I would eat it after 2 days.
What if it's the winter though, and it's like under 40 degrees?
That probably buys you a couple of days.
40. If it's under 40 degrees, that probably you get like a week.
Yeah.
But we're arguing my metaphor here. Anyway, it's uninspiring. Is just what I'm saying. It's uninspiring.
Lukewarm.
We got sidetracked with the honey baked ham. I had a point.
It's delicious.
I forgot what it was. Yeah, we had honey baked ham sandwiches at our golf tournament a couple of weeks ago. The mustard is great. That like honey mustard. It's like a Dijon honey mustard. I don't know. It's weird. It's great.
Honey baked ham, Dennis Allen.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna have to get with Thomas. Because Ralph, what you just said about Dennis Allen, he looks like a defensive coordinator. He doesn't look like a head coach. I feel like I said almost those exact words our first podcast when they hired him. I know for a fact I expressed concerns about him being a leader of men, which is basically my way of saying the same thing. Like he's an X's and O's guy. He's not a detail Mike Ornstein billboards, buying billboards.
Wait, are you saying that Ornstein should be the head coach of the Saints?
No, I'm just saying like those are the type of details that head coaches think of and do and put in action.
Well,
that make those little differences.
Here's the thing, though,
like buying the billboards of the bus route from the hotel to the stadium of your opponent or whatever.
Here's the thing, though,
those
Dave,
things.
If the Saints are going to fire Dennis Allen mid-season, if they were going to go the Colts, because the Colts fired Frank Reich and they hired Jeff Saturday, who never coached except in high school. If the Saints were going to fire Dennis Allen and bring back a random Saints player from their history, Kevin, who would be the most fun Saints player to be?
Delvin Bro.
Delvin Bro. I have a name. It'd be very controversial, but I have a name that if the Saints are going to bring back a player to be coach, I have a name that would be
Kyle Turley.
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. He could motivate the troops.
Albert Connell.
It's so rocker.
Wait, I was thinking realistic, like somebody that would actually be good, or somebody that would
for fun. I got 2 possibilities. First of all, greatest pregame speech you ever heard, Junior Gillette. He could have props, belts, like that would be amazing. But I think, Andrew, the funnest idea, co-head coaches, we're bringing back both the Billy Joes.
I was going to say
Dale Carter and Jake Reed. because you gotta have a babysitter.
I was gonna say they could hire Dan Morgan, and then he could retire on his first day on the job, and then they could hire, I don't know, maybe like Joe Horn.
No, and then they could hire Olin Kreutz, and then he could quit after week 7 or 8.
Yeah. Right, after bragging about throwing Drew Brees up against the locker.
Ricky Jackson, but only if he wears his awesome hats on the sideline.
Okay, well then, so, but now in seriousness, which ex-Saints player do you think would maybe be the best head coach?
Oh, well, Keith Shula. Probably Drew, right?
Nah.
I think Drew could be all right.
You have a lot of former players on staff. You have Zach, you have Sterling Moore, you have Brian Young, you have Lee Torrance, I think, is still on the staff.
That's right.
Are you going to vouch for your dear friend, number 64?
Zach Strief.
As head coach?
With that T-shirt you're wearing, Dave, why not?
I just want
I just want to point out that the Saints probably lost because we said we'd go shirtless if they won. So
that's probably right. I just want Dennis Allen. I want to one moment during the game, Kevin, be like, "Oh yeah, he's the head coach." Like yell at the referee, do something. Like he's invisible. It's weird.
It's just he's a pedestrian. He's an observer. It's like he just.
Yes, all these sad things are happening to Dennis Allen.
I don't care. Show some fight. Show some emotion, man. Show some emotion. That's all.
Solve your problems with aggression.
I gotta be honest, man. Like this season is nothing compared to 2018. The way the Saints hurt me in 2018.
Wow,
you're dead inside. They can't.
Yeah, I'm a little dead inside, and it's like 3-6. Being disappointed early in the year, I'm just like, right, they're bad. Whatever.
Right. That's why
Shockey would be a great.
Having a bad season sucks for sure. Look, it's not awesome, but it's also like the pain waiting for me on the other side at the end of the season is nothing compared to some of these playoff exits.
Yeah, it's a good starting point before we get to the last part. Where are we with the win total, Dave? And I want everybody to do this. Where are we with you think the win total is going to be at the end of the year? And is that win total going to cost potentially Dennis Allen his job? I think he's got to have 4 or less wins for the Saints to even consider him getting fired. And I don't think they'll get there. I think they'll be 6-11.
I kind of already touched on this, but maybe I'm being a little bit of a prisoner of the moment, and I'm just firing off hot takes here.
Doom train.
I said earlier, I'd be surprised if this team won 2 more games, and I kind of have to stick with that. I feel like I would set the over/under now at 6, and I think I'd probably take the under.
Would you set it at 5.5?
Yeah. No, 5.5. Yeah, none of this. Don't give it. Sure. Don't make it a solid number. It's got to be a half. So you none of this
5.5. Okay. 5.5. So that would make them 3 and 5 the rest of the way.
I still think I'd take the under.
6-11 is exactly what I was thinking. I think that's
6-11, is that the safe zone for Dennis Allen, Kevin?
That's. You got the 3 division games left. So in theory, if he won the 3 division games, you could ride some kind of, to hell with our division rivals type vibes, but that's pushing it. That's real dicey.
I've got one other thing to say about Dennis Allen, but Thomas, if you have the ability to pull up our preseason win total predictions, I'd be interested to see those now and compare and contrast them to what we're saying now. But look, the one thing I'll say about Dennis Allen is I feel like Dennis Allen, for the most part, got this job because of nepotism. He was already on staff. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. I I think he had a better chance than anybody from the outside just because he was already on the inside. I think that was a big advantage for him in the whole job search. And I think that's maybe what's kicking us in the ass. And a lot of the time, nepotism is not the way to go.
Nepotism is bad. But here's the thing, Dave. I'm crushed now. Now I'm in full panic mode because Andrew's father, Mr. Juge, the most positive Saints fan maybe that exists in the Saints happy hour community, he just said in the chat, I'm not sure they win another game. When you've lost Andrew's dad,
I might have turned him. He's been listening.
It's bad.
I might have been.
My thing is, look. I mean, obviously, I hope they beat Carolina. God, I mean, that team is so bad.
There you go. Here we go. He's got him. Yes.
I said 11-6.
Yeah, you and Ralph.
Okay, this is great. I was the closest. This is great.
This is like The Price is Right. Sorry, Dave. You go over the win total and you lose.
I said 9-8. I said 9-8, giving them barely a winning record. Andrew was at 10-7, and Ralph and cheery Ralph and Kevin
11-6. Still possible. Still possible. They can run the table.
No, it's not. Mathematically, yes. Theoretically, no.
I will say, so yeah, obviously none of these records are going to happen. At this point, I'm getting close to, and they're still just one game out. So obviously I'm gonna root for them to try to win these games and see if they can make it interesting. But at this point, and this is where it goes back to my childhood, like some of these 3-13 seasons with Jim Mora and Mike Ditka, where you start to watch the season and it goes off the rails and you get hopeless pretty quick. And then you're at like, just sweep the Falcons. Like that's your Super Bowl. That's right. It.
Sweep the Falcons.
And thankfully they won against the Falcons in week 1. So like, I'm getting pretty close to like, all right, just sweep the Falcons.
Sweep the Falcons and keep the Falcons from winning the South. Your dad said, hold it. It was as iconic Jim joke on the Jim Mora quote. I just want to win a game. That's fair, Mr. Juge, but I was panicked.
Like, I would like to, beat the Falcons and... Ooh, you know what? That's a good question. Who out of the
Falcons also lead the head-to-head series all time, 54-53. So obviously, if the Saints lose the next time they play, they would be 2 back. But if they can win this one, then they're tied, 54-54. So this winning and sweeping the Falcons actually has historical meaning for me.
Yeah. Speaking of Falcons, by the way, Bird Gauntlet update. The Bird Gauntlet is kicking the shit out of the Saints like it's round 1 of Squid Games. Jesus Christ. This is brutal.
It is. The Bird Gauntlet is winning. By the way, I want to remind people they can sub for free with Prime every month. It's not just a one-time thing, so do it. Thomas gave you instructions. It's there. Do it. Listen, we have a hotline this week that's amazing. Kevin, do you have the script ready?
Yes, I do. Let me pull that up. I got it.
Hit it, sir.
It's time for this week's hottest take of the week on the hotline, sponsored by JLD Hot Sauce and Knives. If you want award-winning hot sauces like Boot Chalokia or Reaper Madness Special Reserve, go to www.jldsharpsauce.com. They also have incredible jellies like palm and pepper. They also have an incredible selection of handmade knives for cooking, hunting, and outdoor needs. Go check out the Zombie Killer Quartering Cleaver and tell me it's not the best damn quartering cleaver you ever saw or touched in your entire life. Jerry Embler, hello Jerry, is a tremendous supporter of Saints Happy Hour. So we are asking you to support the people who support Saints Happy Hour. Go! No, not go. Run! Don't walk! To www.jldsharpsauce.com to get the best hot sauces and knives at the best prices anywhere. Use promo code Saints Happy Hour, all one word, and you will get 10% off. That's www.jldsharpsauce.com, promo code Saints Happy Hour.
Thomas, describe the hotline for us this week in like 5 words and then play it.
In 5 words,
Jason Champagne called 3 times.
Oh my God.
Is that what I think it is, Dave?
It's time for this week's hottest takes from the Saints Happy Hour Hotline.
Hey guys, it's Vic here. All right, this is like an hour before the Saints kickoff, so I'm just off the heels of the Sunday football calamities. Dude, I fucking hate the Rams. They continue to prove to be the fucking worst. I hate them. Like, they couldn't do us a solid against the 49ers at the end of last season. And then they had this fucking game locked up yesterday, and then they choke. And then all the media is talking about Brady magic, Brady magic. Oh, Tom Brady, the great Tom Brady. He brought that team back. Dude, he fucking threw a pass, like one good pass, and then he fucking got a DPI. And then that's some Brady magic. Fucking hell, the Rams.
You know, I got $220 on the Saints plus 2 to win 200, and they better fucking come through. And what I was hoping they'd do is exactly what they're doing. It's perfect. Let's get a nice big chunk play. Let's get a nice big 7 or 8 yard play, or maybe even a first down on the first play. Then I want to start running the ball up the middle, telegraph that, maybe bring Taysom in and run some shit play to the opposite side to somebody else. And then I want to make sure if it's 3rd and 3, make sure you run like a 1 or 2 yard route so we get stopped short of the first down. You
Okay, Saints fans, show us on the doll where the Ravens were inappropriate. That's good. Okay. Okay, you're pointing at a lot of places. Okay, well, things are going to get better. They were actually a good team. There's plenty of trash left, and you can still have a 5-3 record for the rest of the season. So chin up.
Get out of here.
Things are going to get better. Let's put the doll down now. Okay, very good.
I've seen enough. Ruiz is our new center.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, these are your 2022 New Orleans Saints. Almost good enough on many plays, but often finding themselves on the losing end of the stick, as my cat murmurs in the background. He agrees with me that, our offensive and defensive lines got their asses totally handed to them today. And it wasn't pretty. There were several times when I saw, Peyton Turner get ragdolled, Passignon get ragdolled, pretty much the entire defensive line get ragdolled by a very physical and athletic Ravens front. And that's not good, especially when you've invested, 3 first-round picks and 2 defensive ends. And if you count Cam Jordan, that's 4 first-round picks and 3 defensive ends. We just don't have the horses. On offense, they shut us down in the run game very well. Roquan Smith had a hell of a game, and he definitely made an impact on that defense. We couldn't run the ball, and they took away what we like to do most this season, which is, get Alvin Kamara involved in the check down and screen game, get AK involved in the running game. We barely used Taysom, but we really didn't have a lot of opportunity to do so. And they forced Andy Dalton to try to beat them. For all the good Dalton's done with the offense, let's face it, he's not winning games for us. He's the type of quarterback that you can win games with, but you're not going to win games because of. And this team is just not strong enough to overcome that right now. If we had Drew Brees, especially prime Drew Brees, we'd be in a lot more of these games, and we would not be 3-6 at this point. But you know what? We are what we are, fellas. This is really looking like and smelling like a 7-10 season at best. And, we just got to circle the wagons and hope for the best next year. Champagne out.
I don't know what it is about my Saints fandom. It's like the worse they do, the more I care. And just the deeper my fandom goes, My 40s, so I'm not a fair weather fan. I've been through the dark times. But I just want to let you guys know how thankful I am for this podcast. I think I found you guys about 10 years ago. And the Saints were winning a lot of ball games, and it made it a lot easier to deal with the insufferable audio. And now that the Saints aren't doing very well, I'm really thankful for this podcast, and it makes it more entertaining and enjoyable for me that you guys are here. Thank you.
And our audio's better.
Better, yeah. We got Thomas now.
Way better. We
win awards now. We're fine.
All right. Well, that wasn't. I did the guy who said the doll touching the doll. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was good. It was quality. I think we need to have like Thomas. You need to like mark that. We need to have like at the end of the year of like an off-season thing, like the best of the best.
Yeah.
Hotline. Yeah. All right, Thomas, take it to the top so we can get to questions.
Well, wait, don't we have to get to the game picks? Because isn't Juge leaving in like 8 minutes or something?
Oh yeah, let's flip it around, Thomas. Let's do game picks, and then we'll do take it to the top. So do game picks first.
Well,
wait, thank God you got me here checking the game clock here.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
I was going to say something if you didn't.
It's so Juge's fault, man.
Time management is one of my weak points, Kevin.
All right, Marty Schottenheimer.
That's right. I'm like Andy Reid.
Yeah, there you go. There's a more timely reference.
Okay,
right. So Andrew,
quick update on the points. Everyone predicted the Ravens to win, so everyone got 1 point for that. However, Ralph predicted the Ravens to score 27 points, which is the first correct score prediction of this season, and for that I give him 5 additional points. Andrew, you get 1 point for being nice to me last week, and Dave, I deduct 3 points from you for bitching yet again last week.
Wait, what?
You deduct another 3 points, man.
What
Thomas, I just want to say that you are very fair. You're very good looking.
Very, very fair.
I can't wait till this comes and bites you in the ass.
And I love Poland.
Thomas, mark this for when you do something to piss Andrew off. We're gonna need to pull this up. Wait, what did I bitch about?
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
Everything, man. You were bitching about the rules.
What do you not bitch about?
I did not complain about anything.
Get him, Thomas.
This is
get him.
You want me to put a highlight reel next week, man?
Get him.
All right.
Look, I don't know how they do things in Poland, but this is
that's how we do things.
Yeah, I know. This is
very just and fair, man.
No, this is bullshit.
I think it seems completely fair.
Okay, another 3 points next week. I will take you on that.
No, stop. This is so
Dave's gonna be Dave's score is gonna look like a really nice golf score.
I'm running away from you, man.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate games where like you just make shit up and you move the goalposts and there's no actual rules.
Are you accusing Thomas of malfeasance? Don't even.
I feel like Thomas's scoring system is like those boxing.
He just hates Polish people, man. He just hates Polish people.
Things that Ralph could possibly pronounce correctly. Malfeasance.
Yeah, he got that one right.
Boom.
It's been 2022 for 11 months, and he still can't get that one correct.
So here's what's going to happen in this game. The Saints are going to be up 17-13. Andy Dalton's going to be pretty terrible in this game. He's going to take a lot of shots. He's going to be sore from this Ravens game, and so he's going to come in, kind of limpy, gimpy, and he's going to get knocked out of this game.
Oh, Lord.
And the Saints are going to be up 17-13, even though even though Andy Dalton kind of played terrible. They're up 17-13 just because the Steelers are that bad. Maybe they finally get a pick and they run that back for a touchdown. We'll say that's a Debo. That's one of their touchdowns. But they're up 17-13, and Jameis comes in, and there's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. And the Steelers only have one timeout. So really, you just have to run it in the line a few times, punt. You should be in good shape. But on a running play to run out the clock, Jameis Winston comes up to the line, calls an audible.
Oh, Lord.
And Pete Carmichael says, whoa, what are you doing? And he tries to run to the ref to call a timeout.
Can you give us the damn score?
But the ref doesn't allow the timeout. Jameis throws a pass. It's intercepted and run back for a touchdown. Steelers 20, Saints 17.
Jesus.
The turd of the game is Jameis Winston.
That's a long and winding road to sadness.
Long and winding road to
brings you
that leads
wait, should I
loss.
Should I go last?
No.
No. Thomas,
no, go.
Okay. All right.
You can go last if you want.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Ralph, you go.
He wants to go last so that it's the closest to Sunday as possible. He wants to give himself more time.
So yes, he's got the flow chart. He wants to know.
I want to know who's been the most accurate predictor throughout the season, and now based on these points, that's thrown out the window.
Not
we
you,
have no
definitely.
idea.
Not you.
Just because you don't understand Thomas's solid gold on the up and up scoring system. Just because you don't understand.
Nobody's bitching about you,
You hate
man.
things you don't understand, Dave.
Yeah, I'm in last place, and I'm great with this.
Look, this is a clear game of Calvin ball under Polish rules, and that's how it's being played.
Yes,
you just got to roll with it.
I mean, it's completely on the up and up.
All right, Ralph,
here's the thing with this game. I know most of Saints fans think that the Saints are done with Jameis, but Jameis is not done with the Saints. Pittsburgh is going to be housing the Saints, just crushing them. TJ Watt's going to have like 4.5 sacks. Dalton is going to get hurt. All right. The Saints are going to be down.
Both of you are predicting Dalton to get injured and not get
the Saints are going to be down 20.
That is sick.
The Saints are going to be down 20-3. Jameis is going to come in, lead them all the way back. They're going to be winning 23-20. It's going to feel like Jameis did the shit again. He beat Atlanta with a miracle. He's going to beat the Steelers again. The Saints are going to punt. Steelers are going to have to go 85 yards in 45 seconds. And small hands Kenny Pickett is going to do it. Steelers 27, Saints 23. The turd of the game is Jameis Winston because he didn't sabotage Andy Dalton sooner to get injured.
Okay. All right, Kevin, you go.
I like that.
All right. Steelers 17, Saints 12. Will Lutz is going to kick 4 field goals.
Sad field goals.
Yes. Turd of the game. He is going to get pancaked by this Steelers O-line again and again. He's not going to be able to get any pressure. He's not going to be able to get a sack. He's not going to be able to defend, bat a ball down at the line. And at the end of the game, on the plane back, and then when they get back, and then all this other kind of stuff, and then he'll tweet out when he's not tweeting out stuff about NFTs or investment opportunities. He's going to say, oh, we've already forgotten about it, 24-hour rule, we're on to the next week, all that kind of stuff. Cam Jordan,
wow.
Turd of the game.
Wow. By the way, I forgot to mention at the top of the game picks, the Saints are a 2.5-point favorite in this game. That's how bad the Steelers are, according to Vegas.
It's a great segue, Ralph. And I think after I'm done, I think our buddy Andrew is going to take off because it's just about that time. Look, you guys are all predicting the Steelers to win. Obviously, Saints are terrible. I spent this entire podcast talking about how terrible the Saints are, how they may never win another game. This game is in Pittsburgh. I'm not expecting a lot of points from either of these teams. I think it's going to be a very boring, just
Steelers average 15 points a game.
Yeah, it's just going to be a terrible. It's not going to be an enjoyable game as a fan to watch. But Ralph, as you mentioned, Vegas does have them as 2.5 points away, favorites away, and just Vegas always knows something. So that's why, despite everything I've said for the last hour, despite all of you guys, all of your picks,
I like that.
I'm taking the Saints.
Wow, the okie doke.
Because if we know anything, this is the game they're going to win when you least expect it. When you think,
and
that's when they win.
If you had any balls, you'd lock it in.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Andrew. I'm glad you mentioned that. Because I did, in fact, Thomas, put it up there, play the soundbite. I've locked it in.
Wow. Here's the thing.
Will Lutz game-winning field goal.
We've had fun at the
Player of
Saints'
the game.
expense today.
And wait, hold on, Ralph.
Okay.
I am not done. Okay.
Go ahead.
Because according to the rules, I just went through the rule book, the Thomas rule book here, and according to Chapter 17,
What rule book?
The one that you've given to each of us, and according to Chapter 17,
I don't remember that.
Subsection 12, line B, 2A, it says.
Did Thomas write your manifesto in blood?
It says when you make a big dick Nick pick like this,
yeah,
it's like worth 20 points.
Oh, wow.
So if I get
20?
this, if I get this to the moon, baby.
You mean minus 20?
No.
Minus 20. Here's the thing I wanted to say.
Wait, I'm reading this. Yeah, you're right. It does say minus 20 in here. You're right.
I wanted to say this. Listen, we've banged on the Saints about how they're terrible. They're not going to win more than 2 games the rest of the year. But here's the thing. If Atlanta loses in Carolina and Tampa loses to Seattle in Germany Sunday morning, the Saints can kick it off at 12 o'clock with a chance again to get into first place in the South.
It's crazy.
Like it's not that far fetched. Atlanta's only a 2.5-point favorite in Carolina.
Race to the bottom.
Whatever. I'm telling you, man, it is going to be a hard slog for anybody in the South to get to 8 wins.
No, 7 and 10 is winning the division.
All right, I'm out of here.
All right,
later.
Who dat? See you guys next week.
All right, so Andrew's out of here. So Thomas, play. Take it to the top. We got to do mailbag before we get out of here. Making it rain. Thank you, Jason Champagne. He just subscribed with Prime for 12 freaking months. You're the best.
That's a year.
That's a year, man. Jason Champagne's awesome. All right, Thomas, what you got for us?
Okay, first question. Jesus. First question from Bick, going back to the hotline, guys. The question is, how badly do you guys hate the Rams?
Bad. Fuck the Rams. Like,
not as much as I hate Bill Vinovich, but I do
dude,
not like
the Rams, they can't do anything when we need them to do anything. Like, the thing that was so frustrating about the Rams game, Kevin, I don't know if you watched it. Like, Tom Brady can only throw the ball like 4 yards at a time, and the Rams are playing off coverage, and Tom Brady's like, cool, I'll just hit a 20-yard pass down the seam, and now I'll just go 10 yards at a time down the sideline. They had no timeouts in 44 seconds. Tom Brady moved the ball like it was 2007, Brady. It was maddening. The Rams deserve what they got.
Yeah.
Who did we need the Rams to beat last year? What game was that?
San Francisco. And they were winning by 2 touchdowns, by the way. At home in that game.
Yeah.
It was a sure thing, yeah.
The only thing I'll say about the Rams before we get to the next question, Kevin, is their future is bleaker than the Saints because they have no first-round picks. They're capped out. And their quarterback, they paid him a ton of money, and he's injured and terrible. And their coach is going to be doing commentary for Amazon next year.
Wait, by the way, this is totally off topic. I just said 2 tutties because I feel like I've been hearing everybody use the word tutties now. Like this is the first season that I have ever heard anybody but now I hear it all the time. Is that me? Is this like a Mandela effect thing, or has that term been around for a while?
It's been gaining momentum on the Twitters.
No, I know, but like prior to this year, was that ever a thing?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not me, right? This is a
niche. It's gone mainstream for sure.
But it's a new thing.
Yeah, it's a new thing, I think.
Okay. All right.
Next
I'm
question.
just trying to say, I'm saying tutties because I'm trying to
keep young, yeah.
Hey, teenagers, how do you do?
Next question, guys, from Christmas. He asks, last week you mentioned the fan with the Stabler Raiders / Saints jersey. What will be the third team added to Jameis's one of ones jersey next season?
Oh my God, that's a hard one because
a Dunkin' Donuts uniform.
I don't know. I don't think Jameis is going to get another starting job. So it could be anywhere or it could be nowhere because I don't know. Like, is Jameis cool with being a backup quarterback? Like, I don't know.
If he's cool with being a backup quarterback, Seattle.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
Because he can go to Seattle and potentially compete against Geno Smith. Geno would still probably win the spot. But
dude, Geno is locked in. Like, Seattle's good. And Geno's going to make a ton of money at next.
Wait, also Seattle, fresh lobster.
Crab, yeah.
And crab. Great.
Yeah.
Great. That West Coast crab.
We know Jameis loves the seafood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's perfect for Jameis.
Yeah, that's a good call, Kevin.
Good answer. Good answer.
Next question.
Are you eating that W?
Next question. Next question comes from Bulky. And Bulky asks, how would our world be different had the Saints not traded up in 2018 for Marcus 2 firsts and instead stayed at 27 and drafted Lamar Jackson?
Ooh, Sean Payton might still be around.
He might be, but here's the...
So, no. Hang on, because I've got this. So, if they draft Lamar Jackson... He's sitting at least 1 year, probably 2.
Yeah.
Probably 2. At the end of those 2 years, Drew Brees is likely getting traded or they're letting him walk.
Or he's retiring, right?
I believe he gets traded. Now, where does he get traded to? Which team, I'm going to do my Brian Windhorst. Which team in 2020 was looking for a quarterback that could use a guy like Drew Brees, a precise quarterback who can galvanize a team, who plays well in a dome? Indianapolis.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And in exchange, the Saints get a couple of picks.
Mm-hmm.
They get more pieces to help out. The Saints continue to dominate in the NFC South. Tom Brady wants no part of coming to the Bucs. Instead, he actually retires. He and his wife are actually happy.
This is wow.
Yeah,
I didn't have you giving Tom Brady a happy marriage in this alternate universe.
Look what you did, Mickey Loomis. Well, fortunately, it didn't work out that way because I am totally happy with the production we've gotten out of Marcus 2 firsts. I could not.
Marcus 2 first, as that boy Wolf has said. I knew he didn't like football, but I'm surprised he didn't like money. He's been terrible in a contract year.
He just needs I think he'd be better if he just pretended it was like Dragon Ball Z, or like if the other quarterback was like a rare Pokemon that he had to catch or something. I don't know. Something's got to motivate this guy.
I wonder, Marcus Davenport, Kevin, because he's injured, and we know he gets injured every year, and he knowing with the Saints, his leg fell off. There's a shot like that we won't see Marcus Davenport in a Saints uniform anymore. Like, he's a free agent after this year.
Even Peyton Turner was better, guys, this season.
Now, if you're saying that as if it's some kind of threat.
Not a threat. Not a threat.
I mean, I'm listening to you say this, and I'm like, honestly, I'm thinking like, and I feel like we've said that about a couple of players this last hour, and it's just like, I don't care. Like, at this point, let's blow it all up. Like, who cares if they leave? Who knows? I am so indifferent.
It's like you're threatening me with a good time.
Yeah, right. And so, like, I know we're gonna do the panic meter. I know that's on the thing, but like, honestly, I don't have any. There's no panic. It's over. Like, the season's. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Like, there's nothing to gain out of this. There's not even any point in tanking because we don't even have our first round pick. There's not even any fun in that. So it's just like I'm not panicked. There's nothing to panic about. My panic meter is bottom level 0.
We detonated the panic meter segment because Andrew had to get out of it by 10.
Well, great. This is a. We'll just do this quick recap.
Yeah, right.
Panic meter green, low, because I'm just here to have fun now at this point. It's like playing golf and like you go triple double on the first 4 holes, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna keep scoring anymore. I'm just out here to enjoy the walk, and maybe I'll make a couple of good shots while I'm out here.
That's a good question, though, Kevin. Like for the rest of the year, like if you assume that like they're not making the playoffs, they're not even going to make a run in the South. Like, what is fun for you? Like, what do we want fun the rest of the year? Do we want Jameis to come back and be throwing picks and doing Jameis type stuff? What do we want? Entertainment value on Sundays.
I'm trying. Okay, I can only answer for present, like in this moment. I can't answer it like, oh, well, let's worry about draft picks yet and all that kind of stuff. I'm not worrying about that part yet. Beating the Falcons is one of them. Yeah. And I would say beating another team and it costs them
something.
And it costs them either a division title or a better seed in the playoffs. So, like, let's say you beat Tampa and it keeps them from winning the division, or let's say you beat Tampa and it keeps them from getting a higher seed, or, hey, we all hate the Rams. Let's say you beat the Rams in Los Angeles. No, not in Los Angeles. In New Orleans. Sorry. I read the schedule wrong. Let's say you beat the Rams, and it keeps them from winning the West. I'd be happy with that. I could deal with that.
I would say this: I want to beat the Falcons, and I want to beat Philadelphia. But I don't just want to beat Philadelphia. I want the Saints to, some kind of way, whether it's through injuries or breaking their soul, I want the Saints to ruin their season. And I want them to look back and be like, everything was fine, and then the Saints ruined everything. And even though they have the Saints pick, it doesn't make them happy because they're like, the Saints fucked up everything. That's what I want.
I would agree with all that. All of that sounds very enjoyable. And I would add, I would kind of go back to what you were saying, Ralph. Like, look, I thought, and I wanted Andy Dalton to be the quarterback because I thought that he would be good enough to score enough points, and the defense would hold their own, and he'd be good enough for them to just win some games. But that's all out the window because the offense is even worse than we thought, and the defense isn't even that great in upholding their end of the bargain. So like you said earlier, let's go back to Jameis. Yeah, why not?
Let's chuck it around, man.
Yeah, what the hell?
And like, here's the thing: like, you play Jameis against the Rams. Like, he might throw 4 picks, but he might throw 4 tutties, and you can laugh about it. Like, it's interesting. Like Andy Dalton. Like, if you're not gonna win, I don't want the dull Andy Dalton.
Right.
Like, give me reckless picks Jameis, because
I can't watch I can't watch 8 more of what we saw yesterday. Like that's
here's the thing though, I don't know if Jameis is healthy enough. Like, if Jameis isn't healthy, he's a complete disaster.
I don't know how healthy Andy Dalton's going to be.
Andy Dalton
last night
kicked out of him yesterday, man. He did. Like, I wonder if Andy Dalton's like, man, this is not worth $3 million.
Is that all he's getting?
Yeah, I mean, he's got some incentives that he can hit if he keeps playing, but I mean, like, he can make up to 7, but I mean, like, that man's made a lot of money. Like, I'm thinking like he's like, man, I can get back to Katy, Texas, and just, this is bullshit. Like, I don't need this.
I'm going to a party Thursday night, and there was the possibility that maybe Andy Dalton might pop in and show up. But I texted the host last night, and I was like, I don't think Andy's showing up at the party this Thursday.
No. He
might be in the hospital.
Yeah, he's in traction.
That's right.
Next question.
He's in traction.
His grip strength's good, though.
That grip strength.
Last question I'm going to take from the chat.
Wait, hold on. Ralph, do you have a football in your house? Can we even see if you can hold a football?
I don't have one near me. I have a baseball.
Jesus, though. Dave.
Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave.
Do you have a football? No, I have a baseball.
I have my kid. I'm the coach for this T-ball. It's the bucket of balls.
Do you have a hockey puck? No, I have a shuttlecock, though.
I have Miller High Life bottle caps.
You got Jameis Winston? You got Jameis Winston? No,
I got the Jameis Winston fathead.
No, but I got Andy Dalton.
Yeah, Andy Dalton. Me and Kevin hate Pittsburgh so much. I kind of need the Saints to win this week.
Yeah.
For me and Kevin, have personal reasons we hate this.
Yeah.
Last question.
A former supervisor, boss, type guy is a Steelers fan for some unknown fucking reason.
Yeah. And we it would just be delightful if the Saints could shit kick the Steelers.
Running shitbag.
Yeah.
Show us on the doll where he touched you guys.
Right here.
He's just a dipshit. That's all he is.
That's right there. So,
last question, Ralph.
Yeah. Not here or here so much. Right here.
That's right.
Right.
What do you got, Thomas?
Last question straight from the chat from Bookie Mano. He asks, which other vet can we sign at QB in the offseason that is better than what we have?
Tough.
Well, I always take my cat to Dr. Emily on Maple Street, and she does a good job. So as far as vets are concerned, I think that's who I'd probably be looking at signing.
I don't know, because here's the thing. Probably like the best one that you could sign maybe is like if the Raiders are because the Raiders are terrible, right? And they're like, we're moving on from David Carr. But here's the thing. David Carr will have a bunch of suitors, and David Carr is kind of appealing, but not at like $35 million. Like David Carr is appealing if you're like paying him like 15 or 20 million. If you're paying David Carr 5 years, 110 million, he's not so appealing. Like, I think the Saints' best course of action is they get the dowry from another team for Sean Payton.
The dowry. Make sure it includes a cow.
It's because you get a cow and like the 18th pick.
Dowry and malfeasance.
That's right. You get that, and you trade. Though. You draft a quarterback, and you bring back Andy Dalton if his back is healed up or whatever. If he doesn't die before the end of the year, and you kind of like transition from Andy Dalton to the rookie quarterback. I think that's the best path you got.
If the Saints are utter shit, here's obviously, and you're able to trade Peyton or move Peyton on and get some picks. You draft a quarterback, but you go into the season with the intent of keeping this guy on the bench the whole year. I hate this whole let's get the rookie in immediately and throw him into the deep end and do this whole sink or swim thing. Because again, you see it far more often than not where guys that have talent, some talent, they start them too fast, they rush them out onto the field, and they get obliterated. And it's like,
it used to be, it used to be when we were younger, Kevin, like a team would draft a quarterback and they would be like, yeah, he's not going to play till like the third year. But now they have the 5-year contract, right? And the team want to get the most value out of it.
Oh, dude, no, hang on. I thought it was the opposite. They'd throw him out there immediately.
Some did, but some didn't. But the thing with quarterback is, and of course, mock draft season is 1,000 years away. But the quarterbacks this year, they all kind of are not appealing. And a lot of them are like tiny midget quarterbacks, which I know Drew Brees was small, but he was a unicorn. I am anti-drafting an under 6-foot quarterback. Just
so on free agent, like depending on how the season goes for the Titans, you got Ryan Tannehill. And other than that, I don't know what his contract is, but I want to know what now I can't think of the guy's name. The guy that used to play for the Jaguars that everybody liked. The mustache.
Oh, Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew.
No,
honestly,
he hasn't been playing.
Well, look, I'm throwing names, but honestly, the final one, because I'm looking at free agent quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
At this point, I would almost say, fuck it, let's kick the tires, and I can say that because Jude's not around here to police me right now. We can say F it and kick the tires on Colin Kaepernick. I don't care at this point.
Dude, Colin Kaepernick's so old now. How old is he?
It didn't happen.
I don't know.
I mean, I think the time has passed on him.
He hasn't, dude. Colin Kaepernick hasn't played
in 10 years.
He hasn't played since before the Saints got good again in 2017. I don't think. Like, I think Colin Kaepernick's last year was like 2016.
Where the hell is his? There it is. Like, let's see how old he is.
He's
Wikipedia. He's 35.
Yeah,
and he hasn't played in like.
Yeah,
he hasn't played in two president.
He hasn't played since 2016.
He is not. That's 6 years.
He hasn't played since the Obama administration.
No, well, let me see. When was his last game? Because no, it might have been worse. Let's see. When was his last game? 2016. Yeah, he opted out of his contract and became a free agent in March 2017. So he was 2.5 months into the Trump administration.
Yeah, so he hasn't played since Obama was president. That's 2 president administrations ago. Like, I mean, you can be pro Kaepernick, you can be whatever, but like, that ship has sailed, my man.
All right, fine. Gardner Minshew it is.
Gardner Minshew.
No, thank you, Jesus.
Hipster quarterback Gardner Minshew.
What's Quinn Gray doing?
Oh my God, he torched the Saints. I think.
Hey, I'm sure.
Yes, he did. I was in attendance for that.
Must be available.
He lit the Saints on. The Saints won, but he lit them on fire.
Yes, he did. It was a tour de force.
We're done with the questions, and Ralph, you didn't have this on. You mistakenly left it off the rundown, but it's now time for Tulane.
Go Tigers!
Oh God, here we go.
Tulane, your Tulane Green Wave are now 8-1, and they actually are running roughshod over. That.
And by the way, ESPN, that's some bullshit.
Let's talk about this.
They pick Texas and TCU.
The rich get richer. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Stupid.
Texas, they've already been to Austin once this season. They're going now for a second time. They couldn't spread the wealth. You couldn't go to a smaller school like Tulane. We have a rabid fan. This would have been a big difference. It would have been
awesome.
You would have been heroes. You would have been gods among men on our campus. You could have made a big difference to our little tiny school, and helped the smaller AAC conference.
Smaller.
I mean, it is small. I mean, come on.
So is Tulane? Are they favored this week?
8-1. We're facing off against UCF. They are second or third in the league. So I mean, look, Tulane has the destiny. They control everything. If they win out, that's it. They're possibly playing New Year's Day Bowl. I saw one guy, Brett McMurphy or whatever, he was predicting, and this would be just from a business standpoint, this would be the dream scenario. Say Tulane LSU in the Cotton
You'd be like
Bowl.
Scrooge McDuck just dived in the money.
That would be. I'd be like, kids, it's going to be a good Christmas. You're getting whatever you want. I would just absolutely die in that situation, but they've got everything in front of them. They just need to win. UCF's a good team. It's a big game. If you're in New Orleans, if you haven't gotten on the Tulane bandwagon yet, there's plenty of room. We will still accept you. Get some tickets. Go to the game. Bring your family. It's inexpensive. It's an easy game day experience. It's not like going to a game at that other school up the river where you have to devote 12 hours of your entire day to travel there, get out of there, to be there. You can be in and out of Yeoman as quickly and as easily as you want to. Everything's inexpensive. It's a great time. Come on and ride the wave. Where this is it. We're having I'm loving it. I checked my sales numbers yesterday. Actually, I didn't even think to check to see how we were, doing compared to other years, and we're kicking ass.
I love the Green Wave. They've made me a lot of money this year in college football. I'm
good.
I'm
buy a T-shirt, Ralph. Buy a T-shirt.
I know. So I will. They get to the Cotton Bowl versus LSU. I will buy LSU Tulane Cotton Bowl merchandise.
And yes, we're what are we? We're 17 in the AP. 17. 19. Are we 17 in the college football? I don't know, but we would be in it. We would be in it, and if I think we would be in the college football playoff, right? Would we?
Well, you'd be the non-Power 5 representative in the New Year's Six Bowl.
Yeah.
So Thomas, who won the MVP for this week?
Jason Champagne, 1,000 bits by only 200 bits ahead of Tiger Saint, by the way.
Thank you, guys. You're the best. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Support the show if you listen to this version on the live stream on the free version. Support the show. Sign up at saintshappyhour.com. Become a patron. Try us out for a month. It's amazing. I promise you it'll be the best $10 you spend all football season. Tiger Saint coming in strong.
With 1,000 bits. That's like a Jameis Winston Hail Mary.
At the finish.
I'm not that really excited about that. Maybe if you did another 1,000, then I might actually be impressed.
But
whatever.
That's impressive. Don't listen to Dave, Tiger Saint. That is freaking impressive.
Thank you,
guys,
send us a video. Send us a video for next week, Tiger Saint.
That's right.
Yes, come on.
Thanks for Tiger Saint is a
Or
degenerate.
an audio. You know what? We should open it up. Maybe some people don't want to show their face. Maybe they'd rather do audio.
Anything you want, man. Or pictures.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. So, guys, thanks for joining us. To Andrew, who had to leave early because he's an old man and had to get tucked into bed, drink his nighty-night tea. For Dave, for Kevin, for Thomas, running the show in Poland, doing an amazing job as always. Best producer in the business. We threw him a bunch of curveballs. We had to move things around on the lineup, delete things out because we had to make sure this show ended early. But it doesn't end early because we're not capable of it. It still went 90 minutes because that's what we do. It's who we are. So, guys, thanks for joining us. If you're going to support a Saints podcast, you ought to support the one that wins awards. Until next week, the bar is closed.